It is often said that a minister's job is to comfort the disturbed, and disturb the comfortable. So I am really clear today that I am here to use my language to shock us into waking up into a new way of being. So if you're hoping that this is going to be one of those moments that feels oh so soothing and comfortable, I don't think that's what's happening today. Because what I recognize in the conversation of abundance is that it is time for us to wake up and recognize that abundance is already the deepest truth of who and what we are, and that we no longer need to seek for anything. And what that means in my own journey and what I have seen in the people around me is that means I got to get really uncomfortable. Because my comfort zone is a really nice place to be, but nothing changes when nothing changes. Or another way to say it is, boats can be on the dock, but that's not really what they're intended to do, right? That's not what they were made to do or what they were made to be. So what I want to ask you in this moment to start out this conversation is, what does abundance mean to you? What is the most abundant possibility in your life? And how does that line up with the comfort zone? How does that line up with that, I just kind of want to stay over here, get that warm blanket on and be so comfortable? And what happens in that relationship? So what I want to invite in this moment is a very simple opportunity, a recognition that you can call off the search. You can let go of the wanting and rest in the deepest truth of who and what you already are. And that shift is the most powerful shift we can ever make. Is a shift from believing that there's something here that's not quite fill in the blank, not quite healthy enough, not quite rich enough, not quite enough love in my life, so I need to find it or seek it. So we're shifting from seeking love to offering love to being love. From seeking abundance to offering abundance to being abundance. And I don't know about you, but in my own journey, I can be in any of those in about 15 minutes. Right? Oh, I'm seeking, I'm wanting it. Oh, wait. Whatever I want from the world is mine to give to the world. That's the first fundamental shift. And then I recognize at another level that it's not that at all. It's not about what I give to the world, it's how I'm being in the world. And a recognition of the original self. The great remembering that we come into this world abundant spiritual beings, and there's actually only one surrender. The surrender to knowing my own God essence, my own beingness, my own essential self. And creating an intimate relationship with my true nature. And when I have an intimate relationship with my true nature, which is abundance itself, everything shifts because I know that, I be that in the world, and as it said in the reading, then life seems to respond. But only 100% of the time. Now what I want to offer here is a little bit of a caveat. It doesn't always happen instantly. And if there are conditions in my life that aren't looking the way that I want them to look, remember, hear the word want. I'm wanting them to look a certain way. What gets created when I want? Correct. I want a more abundant life. I want more love in my life. I maybe even want to be more loving in the world. That want is a subtle and sometimes not so subtle acknowledgement that I don't already have it. That when I get there, I'm going to be okay. That when I get that, I will be happy. We have a spiritual community here. When we get 200 people, everything will be great. Or for some of us, it might be when we're back down to 5 people, it'll be great. Right? That wanting creates an unconscious bias, if you will, or a belief that something is already not right here. So that wanting, so sometimes we call ourselves spiritual seekers. What I want to invite is the possibility that we can recognize there is nothing to seek. That we already are that which we are seeking. In my work, I have the opportunity to work with people who say something like, I want to manifest my soulmate. I give that a little space right there. Marianne Williamson said, when I recognized every person on the planet is my soulmate, that changed. Do I need my soul to mate? Or when I know who and what I am, every being on this planet is an opportunity to be love, to receive love. And again, it's paradoxical, right? One of the things that came really clear to me some years back is the only way to really talk about spirituality is to speak in paradox. It feels like this and that simultaneously. Yes, I want a loving partner. It's something that I desire. I'm very grateful that I've been married to my husband for over 2 years and we've been together for 7 years. But as Jim Carrey said in that reading, that's not really it. And I want to be clear what I mean by that. How many people grew up here watching Disney movies? And back in the day, it was super sexist to start with, right? Prince Charming would come along, and then somehow she would be okay and complete and fulfilled. Right? At least the gender roles are switching slightly in Disney, but there's still a message that one day this will come, and I can live happily ever after. Right? So we've been programmed to believe that we need someone or something in order to bring about happiness. And what we're offering today is perhaps it's the other way around. When I really know that happiness is the deepest truth of who and what I am, and I make a commitment to being that in the world, all of a sudden, all this love is showing up all around me. Because the frequency, the attunement, is that love energy automatically vibrates with love energy. It's not possible another way. And I did say I'd have a little bit of word of caution. What I would invite that we don't do is what we call metaphysical malpractice, where we start blaming ourselves for the parts of our life that aren't looking the way we want it to look. So rather than saying, what did my consciousness do to create this? Because what we're saying there is like, I have an illness, I've been diagnosed with an illness, what did I do to create that? Not so useful. What might be more useful is a recognition that here is this that happened. Thank you for your transparency and authenticity with that. Here is the information I received. What am I to do with that? How am I to be with that? What might happen if I recognize that abundant health is the truth of who and what I am, and I can radiate that, and it has a profound effect on what we call a diagnosis. I work in the mental health field, and I watch people get diagnosed with mental illness, and it breaks my heart. I'm not saying there's, on some level of reality, that there is some truth to that, but what I offer is there is a deeper reality, a greater reality than anything happening in the personality realm, anything happening in the physical realm. What we once called reality actually is the illusion, and what we might have called the illusion is actually reality. There's really one truth. I am God. Say that with me. I am God. I am God. I am God. And if that word doesn't work, let's try some other ones. I am love. I am love. I am wholeness. I am wholeness. I am spirit expressing. I am spirit expressing. I am that I am. I am that I am. So any illusion other than that is the surrender. That's the let it go. Wait, what are the words? Throw it away. Throw it away. So what illusion can be thrown away in this very moment? Not so that we can attain our greatness, but so that we can remember that it's already there. As I throw away, as Reverend Michael Beckwith says, the agreements I've made with mediocrity, the love shines through. We don't need to go out and find love. We don't need to go out and find light. We are that. We are that. So the surrender, the letting go, the throwing away is simply anything that we've been taught that's counter to that. Most of us have been taught all kinds of things that are counter to that. I'm this way, my gender means this, my race means this, my age means this. You know, I remember my parents when they were my age, they were old. I mean, they really believed that this number that I have was old. And so I remember watching that, and I'm like, oh, I'm this age now. But what if that's not true? What if that's a BS belief system that's been taught to us? Reverend Michael, in his book Spiritual Liberation, says we need to become intimate with our true nature. And when we have an intimate relationship with our true nature, we automatically, I don't remember what word he uses, but we begin to wonder how we bring that into the world. How we be that in the world. When I'm intimate with my true nature, my beingness, my knowing that I am one with the one, and that even that language is a little bit of duality, where each particles of this God essence, when I know that, and I know that I know that I know, I automatically want to bring that to the world. Yeah. Because I don't know about your journey, but my journey, when I had a sweet surrender to that knowing, tearfully, I knew that because I was really aware of that, I had to be that in the world. Yeah. Because that's what's wanted and needed, and that's our purpose. So if you're wondering what your purpose on this planet is, it's profoundly simple. Be love, be light, be joy. It can have all kinds of expression. You might be a social worker working in the foster care system. You might work with animals. You can be that love and light in any role that you're playing, in any way that it's manifested. That part is less significant than the knowing of who and what we are. So as we start this conversation this month about abundance, what I want to close today's conversation with is simply that question of what is true abundance to you? What is the highest possibility for your life? That's what we ask in visioning. What is the God vision, the source vision, the love vision for my life? What are my unique skills and talents? I like to think I can sing, but it's not my unique skill and talent. I don't think it is. But when we say yes to our own expression, the ego or the personality becomes a delivery system for spirit. We don't need the ego to die. Dr. Sue Morter, who will be here in 2 weeks, I heard her speak at Agape a couple of years ago, and she said, only ego would want ego to die. What if I embrace all of it? I look at my unique skills and talents and gifts. I no longer try to improve my weaknesses. How many people have done that? Right? What's wrong with me and how do I get better? What does that create? What about, wow, what's my unique way of being in the world? I love being up here and talking. That's not for everyone. Right? We all have our unique way of delivering spirit into the world. My first spiritual teacher, Mary Helen Brownell, would no more stand up here and speak. She would say, oh, no. But one-on-one in a quiet room with a candle lit, her presence, her love, her beingness transformed my life. Not by anything she ever said to me, but by holding the presence of knowing her own God essence and mine. And my life was transformed. People come to me often and they want to manifest a life that looks a certain way. And the invitation isn't for us to figure out what's ours to do specifically, but who we've come here to be, and using our unique skills and talents to deliver that in the world. That's going to look different for everyone. That might be being the most loving, awesome grandmother that's ever existed. Right? We don't need to change anything except our awareness of that which we already are. Surrendering the old stories and the beliefs that we've been taught that have kept us small so that we can step into our own magnificence and be a beneficial presence on the planet. Are you ready to say yes to that?
Yes.
See, we get caught up sometimes. We get caught up in this belief that there's not enough. There's not enough money, there's not enough help, there's not enough love. If I get mine, you're not going to get yours. And if I have a deeply entrenched belief system that if I get what I am here, if I step fully into who I've come here to be, that someone else doesn't get to. But that's not it. As a matter of fact, the more each of us step into our own radiance, the more, as Marianne Williamson said, that light automatically liberates others. So we have a huge calling. Be the love. Be the light. It doesn't matter what we do. It matters how we are being in the midst of that. So if you are ready to say, I don't need to improve anything. I don't need to look at my weaknesses and learn how to improve them. I simply recognize that God essence has a huge purpose for my life. I am here to say yes to that. That might also involve me letting go of, releasing, throwing away, struggling with, holding on tight, and finally releasing anything that's counter to that. So the calling for each of us is to be that in the world. Life is a great experiment. Are you ready to say yes?
Yes.
So we can be that in the world and watch what happens. Playing with the knowing that we aren't here to seek. We are here to give and ultimately to be. Watch that happen. Watch that transformation happen in your life so that we can live an inspired life, so that we can be the change we want to see in the world.